Disney has been trying to revive the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise for what seems like years now, all with the goal of trying to recapture some of the magic of the original trilogy. A series of films that did prove to be very prosperous for them. And we all know that Disney is desperate for success after a series of L's over the last couple of years. Now, no one should be surprised that they are trying to capitalize on an established franchise to do this. That's their MO. They've proven several times over that they are creatively bankrupt and are more than willing to try to reel audiences back in the laziest way possible. But what they are reportedly trying to do now with the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise is not only a terrible idea, but it is the same mistake that they've been making over and over for what seems like years now. Let's discuss.
I watch so you don't have to.
All I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
So according to an industry insider, Disney is eyeing none other than Ayo Edebiri to play a part in the 6th Pirates of the Caribbean movie. It appears that she will not just be playing a part, but be the lead in the potential upcoming Pirates 6. A film that will reportedly feature a younger cast of pirates in a search for hidden treasure. It's also reported that the character she is being considered for is named Anne, and it's possible this character could be based on a real-life pirate, Anne Bonny, who was an Irish woman. Top of the morning to ya! Okay, so there's a lot to unpack here for obvious reasons, so let me start by saying this. I can't say that I'm entirely familiar with this actress or her work. The only thing that I've seen that she's been a part of over the last couple of years is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem, where she voiced the controversial version of April O'Neil in that film. So if she were to play a character based on legendary pirate Anne Bonny, this would be the second time that Hollywood used her to replace what is a historically red-headed character. So the erasing of the gingers trend continues, I guess.
Hell are you looking at, you little ginger-haired
In the grand scheme of things, I don't think that really matters because we have much bigger problems here. I have to ask the question, who benefits from Pirates 6 going in this direction? It appears that Disney is going with the let's change things to appeal to modern audiences approach. Yet we have a mountain of evidence to suggest that that never actually works. And modern audiences, whoever that's supposed to be, typically do not show up to these movies that are basically being made to cater to them. So when it comes to my original question, no, audiences are not benefiting from this because nobody asked for a modernized version of Pirates of the Caribbean. Kind of defeats the purpose of it being a Pirates of the Caribbean movie in the first place.
It's true.
I'm not even 100% sure that there is a demand for a Pirates 6 to begin with, but more on that in a moment. As far as Disney goes, we know they aren't going to be benefiting from this from a financial perspective, because this movie is already destined to be a massive flop and a colossal waste of money for a company who really can't afford to have many more flops on their resume. Now, some may argue that this is going to benefit the actress herself, who really isn't established as a household name, because she would be receiving a lead role in a big franchise. But I would argue that all Disney is really doing by going in this direction is setting her up for disappointment and failure. They are putting this young actress in a position where not only does she have to overcome the very large Johnny Depp-sized shadow that is looming over her, but again, she is starring in a movie that I haven't seen a single solitary person ask for.
Whatever it is that you're offering, we're not into it. Don't care, couldn't care less.
Remember when this female-led Pirates film was supposed to star Margot Robbie and she dropped out eventually? Maybe Margot Robbie saw the writing on the wall and realized that this was a stupid decision. Maybe Margot Robbie saw through Disney's bullshit and saw that they are trying to use her like they've used so many actresses before her. You see, Disney and other companies like to hide behind the excuse of updating franchises for new audiences. And they use this as a reason of why they would want to pass the torch to a new character to carry on these franchises. What they don't seem to understand is that these franchises were established because of the characters they are now trying to move away from. Does anyone really think that the original Pirates of the Caribbean would have been half as successful as it was without Johnny Depp in the lead role as Captain Jack Sparrow?
Absolutely not.
The first film worked because it was the perfect storm of people and circumstances coming together to create something that connected with people. And to think you can just flick that switch after all this time and do it again, and basically just run it back with brand new characters and have the same success, is a ridiculous notion. Pirates worked because of Johnny Depp. Hell, Pirates didn't work with Johnny Depp involved at one point. This was when Disney got greedy and made one too many sequels. The moment had passed by the time the fourth film had released, but even still, you can't take away from the impact of those original 3 movies. And a lot of the impact had a lot to do, if not all to do, with Johnny Depp's unique and memorable performance as Jack Sparrow. Here's the thing, if in fact you were dead set on bringing this franchise back from the dead, it could have given Disney the opportunity to right some of their own wrongs, and maybe even change the public perception of their company, even if it's only momentarily until they f something else up. They literally had a chance to be a part of Johnny Depp's comeback story, which I think is something that the public would have gotten behind, especially after it appears he is finally moving past all of this Amber Heard bull.
But you one crazy ass bitch!
Imagine the response if Disney let him return to one of his most iconic performances. A role that he should have never been removed from, by the way. That sounds like a great story to me. That sounds like the route they should take if they wanted to regain public interest in this franchise. But no, instead Disney wants to go with an unproven new cast of characters that audiences will most likely not give a shit about. We've seen this song and dance many times before. The characters will be undeveloped, the story will be undeveloped, and they will try to sell this movie on name recognition alone. And audiences are going to see right through that because Disney has a built-in track record of doing this very thing. What do they say the definition of insanity is? I would like to change that when it comes to movie studios and say, what is the definition of incompetence? It's doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result.
That makes sense.
The reality of the situation is this film was already dead on arrival when it was announced, because I do not believe that general audiences will accept this movie if these rumors end up to in fact be true. Disney is literally trying to squeeze what little life there is in this franchise out of it before it's gone completely. They are at a point where they are constantly trying to live up to the expectations that they set for themselves when they used to actually make good content, like back when the original Pirates trilogy came out. That's when they made movies that people actually cared about, and right now they are failing at that miserably. You can only go back to the well so many times before it dries up. Eventually you are going to have to do something different, something outside the box, if you want your company to prosper. And I just don't think Disney is capable of doing that right now, or anytime in the foreseeable future.
Y'all be cool. Shut up.